Well, that didn't go as planned. We bought this house 2 years ago. This was supposed to be my dream project. This was going to be a gallery of all my work. I was going to build every single piece of furniture and we were going to Airbnb it and you could stay here. I had a shop set up in the garage where we could do an Airbnb experience where you could work on a project alongside with me. None of that is happening here, and I'm going to explain why here in a second. And this video is brought to us by Squarespace. When we decided to sell, I'll be honest, it felt like a failure and was a little embarrassing because I had some grand plans for this place. I've talked about it quite a bit in my videos, and we made a bunch of projects for this place. But the truth is that selling this place is leading to other opportunities. So there is a happy ending, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, let me tell you about some of the struggles that I had. I love new challenges. The thrill of starting a new project, it excites me so much, but something happens when we get to the middle of the project and I start to lose interest. The only reason I finish projects is because there's usually a deadline, and that's usually from a sponsor. So sponsors help in two ways. One, they make these videos possible, and two, they give me a hard deadline on when I need to finish videos. Otherwise, I don't know that this channel would exist. This house project was thrilling at the start, but I didn't anticipate the amount of time, money, and energy it was going to take for all of the non-video projects and repairs that this house needed. As it's in its current state, it's not a destination Airbnb, and that's what I wanted it to be. So yes, we made some really cool projects for this house, but there's a long ways to, I gave myself a 1-year timeline of making this rentable. And we're now 2 years in, and it feels like we're still 2 years away from making it rentable. So let's take a tour and let me show you some of the projects that I did complete that I'm very proud of. Some of my favorite projects ever are right around the corner here. Check this out. This stereo stand that we made here. I love that you can kind of flip through the records like this. Got a little push to open storage down below. And then over here, we have this modular coffee table, both the stereo stand and the modular table made out of solid walnut. This is like 1.25 inches thick. So this is modular. You can kind of rearrange it to however you want. I did make this, but this wasn't supposed to stay here. I planned on making a big entertainment center that was going to fit in the corner. I was supposed to build a little table and chair area, a place where you could have your dinner since there is no real dining room here. I never got to that. I did make bar stools. I believe they're out in the garage. They're not here right now. And then in the kitchen, I didn't make anything for the kitchen except for a cutting board and a Bluetooth speaker, which are not in here at the moment. But one room that I did make a lot of stuff for is the bathroom. So typically you wouldn't buy a shower curtain and build furniture around that design. I am not your typical maker. So I took this pattern and repeated it on the vanity down here. I actually love how that looks. And then made a trash can to match that. So hopefully the new owner can find that shower curtain to buy a spare one. We made the bed, which out of solid walnut, of course, made the nightstands and the lamps. Also got the floor refinished and put in a new ceiling fan, but still a lot of work needed to be done in here. So if I turn around and switch spots with Daniel, since this was going to be an Airbnb, we thought there's no need for a dresser. We're just gonna build a built-in fancy closet. So this was all going to be walnut. There were going to be a couple drawers on the bottom, a place to hang your wardrobe, and then some shelves. You know, since you're only staying here for a few days, you can just have everything right there where you could get it. Never got to that. And then there's another bedroom that we didn't do anything to, and we just never touched. So the outdoor area is really cool. We got these little pavers here. So the plan was to put a fire pit here, hang some lights, and have a nice little hangout area. But the yard needs a lot of work. The grass is really, there's not even grass, it's just weeds. And then the fence is falling down. So the fence needs to be replaced. So there was just so much work to be done out here. In the end, I couldn't see a finish line, and I just really started to feel very overwhelmed with not only this, but a bunch of other life things too. Some of you might recall that we had a 67 Chevy Impala in the garage that belonged to my dad. And that was going to be a whole series of projects and videos and personal projects that I never got to. And all of this really just started to overwhelm me. So I sold the Impala to a family member. And since the to-do list, no matter what I did, just felt like it kept growing. And I couldn't take it anymore, and I had a talk with Kelly, and we decided to sell. And to be honest with myself, no matter what we would have done to this place, this was never going to be an Airbnb destination. It's small, it's right in the middle of the city. In the end, it was a learning experience that we are thankful that we went through, because we did learn a lot, not only about ourselves, but about real estate. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there is a happy ending to all of this, and we have already stepped into the next chapter, and I can't wait to show you what's next. So what happens when I fail at something? I try again, but go even harder. This is our new place, and it solves every issue that was weighing heavily on me. This is a true destination. There's a reason to travel to here. Hardly any work needs to be done, and it's completely furnished. Bedding, appliances, more TVs than you could ever imagine. It's got pots and pans, towels, everything. The previous owners left everything. We could rent this out tonight if we wanted to. The way this place makes us feel is transformative, and it's not just this property, but the entire region. I have been making YouTube videos as my full-time job for about 11 years now, and I hope I get to do this for a long time, but I know that a career like this doesn't last forever. So I need to start thinking about the exit plans. So my wife and I, we have started a separate business, and this is the first piece of that puzzle. Welcome to our lake house. The previous rental was meant to be a gallery of my work. I was going to design and build every single piece of furniture in there, and you could stay there and see it firsthand. And the idea of that sounded absolutely amazing to me, but it's just a long and difficult road. This place, on the other hand, is ready to go, and we can start generating income immediately. And I can still build all the furniture for it, just one at a time, as I have time and the desire and the money to do so. It just takes away so much of the pressure. Since this is a lake house, we have this amazing opportunity to share this with friends and family. It's about an hour away from home, so when we do come here, it feels like we are getting away. I still plan to host one-on-one workshops here, so if you were looking forward to that, don't worry, that is still happening. You could come here, stay for the weekend, and then we can work on a project together, like a cutting board or a birdhouse or wherever your skill level is at. There are so many amazing projects to be made here, so that is still part of the plan as well. We'll talk about the workshop and the future projects here in a little bit, but first, let me show you why this area is such an amazing vacation destination. This area is called Irish Hills. It's near Brooklyn, Michigan, and there are dozens of lakes in this area. We are on a small, peaceful little canal that connects to 3 lakes. And one of those lakes is Wamplers, which is the all-sports party lake in the area. Our property came with boat docks and kayaks. We don't have any boats. We don't have boat money, but it would be fun to get a little motorized paddle boat. And if you're wondering, finding insurance for a place like this is its own challenge. There will definitely be waivers to sign. There's a restaurant right down the channel that you can drive, walk, bike, or even kayak to, since they have a little boat dock. There's plenty of wineries nearby, and the number of antique shops here is just absolutely bonkers. So I've got a lot of exploring to do myself. Downtown Brooklyn is this charming little town, lots of cool little independent shops there. This area is just absolutely buzzing in the summertime. Unfortunately, we closed on this place right at the end of party season, just as everybody was taking their boats out of the water, but that gives us plenty of time to get our ducks in a row. That's a water joke. Ducks in a row. No? Is this thing on? The previous owners rented this house out on Airbnb, so this property already has a successful short-term rental history. We got to meet the previous owners and they were awesome. They gave us all kinds of great tips on how to be a good host. The best part of all of this is this house was rebuilt not too long ago and everything was designed from the ground up to be a relaxing hangout area. So on the back side of the garage here has these big French doors that open up into a bar area. This is so cool. There's a cooler built in here. We got a big screen TV behind me. We got tables and chairs all set up around here. This is the party area right here. The bar stools from the previous house made it over here, as well as the coffee table here. The back patio and this bar room, this is the Airbnb magnet. When you're searching on Airbnb for a place to stay in the Irish Hills, this is the thing that is going to sell it and bring people in. So cool. This room is so cool. And then as you step out of the bar, you enter the back patio. It's got a big old ceiling fan and a TV that's bigger than the TV that we have in our living room at home, overlooking the water, and then we have a fire pit out here as well. Between the bar and the 3 patios, there are 36 chairs. This place is meant for a good time. I will wrap up the video showing you the secondary shop. Before that, I'm gonna take you on a tour on the inside and show you all the potential amazing projects that we have coming up. But before I do that, I'd like to tell you about today's sponsor, and that is Squarespace. Squarespace is your all-in-one platform to host your website, your domain. You can use them for your email campaigns. It is time for you to have a website if you don't have a website already. Peter McKinnon said recently,
if you don't have a website at this point, I might not even be able to help you anymore.
I don't think that's true. It's never been easier to set one up. Squarespace has always been easy to set up, but it's never been easier than right now because you go in, you're gonna answer a few questions, and Squarespace is gonna set it up for you in the background while you're answering the questions. That way, when you're all done, you basically have the framework of your website ready to go. It's all navigatable and you can go in and just replace the copy and the photos with your text and photos. Plus, there's all kinds of killer features. A feature that I will be using next year is their calendar feature, so you could book time with me here in my shop. I also use Squarespace for my email newsletter, plus I can sell digital and physical items, and it just makes it super easy. You don't need to know a thing about the code, cloud, backend, none of that. All you need is the idea, and Squarespace is gonna take care of the website for you. Visit squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, visit squarespace.com/makesomething to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Okay, let's go inside and take a tour. As we walk in the side door, it's basically an open concept. This table and chairs here, that could be replaced. There's a shoe rack down here that could be replaced. Lots and lots of Lakehouse type signs. We'll probably keep most of them, but it really gives us an opportunity to remake a lot of signs. So there's a little serving tray, of course, that could be replaced. You might recognize that cutting board back there from the previous home. Over here on the couch where the wiener dogs are enjoying their time. What's up, boys? Wally and Duke. There's no coffee table in here, and there's not going to be because we enjoy the ottoman, but this is a serving tray that came with the place, and of course I want to remake anything that I could possibly make. Like there's random coasters everywhere, more signs on the wall, lots of lake life type signs. This thing needs to be replaced right away. This drives me nuts. It is insanely wobbly. These things always fall over all the time. Just if you look at them wrong, they fall over. Below the entertainment center there, that's something that I could remake. I could make some more stools here. I mentioned earlier about finding insurance for short-term rentals can be a little difficult. We found a company, but even though that there is a railing on the right side, they require us to make a railing here on the left side as well, so people don't fall over. So we are not allowed to put this up on Airbnb until we get a railing. So that is going to be one of the very first projects for this place. So if we go up the stairs here, this particular room already has 2 beds in it, but we brought the bed that I made, which is bigger than the beds in here. So that is going to replace that. You know, we could make all the furniture, but we don't have to. That's the great thing, is we don't have to do anything. So another kid's bedroom with small beds. There's not normally going to be a fence out here, but we just need to keep the dogs and the messes that they make contained. More furniture in the hallway that we could potentially replace. And then a cute little bathroom with these cool barn doors that reveal washer and dryer. I could potentially make a new vanity if I want to, but if I don't want to, I don't have to. And then the primary bedroom, since there are a lot of little projects to do in here, I'm probably gonna make a video of 10 projects and put them all into one. It's really hard to make a video only about a serving tray unless that serving tray has some sort of crazy hook, like it's made out of toothpicks or something. And I don't wanna have a crazy hook for everything that I make. Sometimes I just wanna make something real simple. But it's hard to get people to watch those videos. So maybe if I do 10 projects and combine that all into one, maybe that will help the video. Something that I see Marco do is, instead of doing one project in his videos, he's doing like 4 projects, and they all kind of interweave, and his videos are so well done. Speaking of Marco, over here on this wall where that piece of art is, we want to do a Lake Wampler's, like it's almost like you pour different colored epoxy in different layers to get to show like a depth. And this is a thing that Marco has done in one of his previous videos, I think for his sink. And I want to kind of borrow that technique to make a piece of art that represents Wampler's Lake, the closest party lake that we could kayak to out here. This is still going to be a place that's still going to be like a gallery of all the things that I am doing, but not at first. I'm trying really hard. Let me get better lighting here. I am trying really hard to not overwhelm myself anymore. Creative burnout is a real thing, but it's also really hard to talk about because people have real jobs where they have to do real hard physical labor. And that's, my parents did that. And they didn't complain about work. I mean, everybody complains about work, but they just did their jobs, So for me to talk about creative burnout, which I'm definitely feeling right now, seems petty and not worth discussing. But, it's just one of the things that I am personally struggling with, trying to do something creative every single week. What can I do to lighten that burden? Because I love my job. I love making these videos. I love making videos just as much as I love making projects. So I don't want to get totally burnt out, and I just want to keep doing this. So I need to figure out how to lighten the load. And then finally, we have the garage, which is going to be the secondary workshop. It's a mess right now. We're getting it set up. I am filming a video right now on starting from scratch, basically with this empty garage, and I'm filling it with budget-friendly tools. And in that video, I go over when the budget-friendly tools are gonna get by and when you might wanna save up a little bit more money. A quick tour while we're getting this set up. I did bring the one laser over here, the DeWalt planer. I gave the one planer to my brother. And then I have the DeWalt table saw, which is not staying here. I will be selling that. We have the Wen miter saw, the Wen band saw, the Wen drill press, spindle sander. There's a router table that I'm getting set up back there. I got a workbench made out of only 2x4s and it costs less than $100. We go over that in the video. There's some more hand tools down there. And then we have our table saw station, which I have the saw stop in there, and I'll explain why I swapped out the Wen for the saw stop in that video. There's some things left over from the previous owner, some sort of weight machine, and then weights. I got to figure out what to do with that. And then some just other random things that we need to figure out what to do with. This garage will be closed off to renters and only available when I am here to give woodworking classes or one-on-one shop building experiences. So, you know, this door right here will be a locked door, which then goes into the bar area here. Man, this room is so cool. We've had this place for a few weeks now, and the reason this video has taken so long for me to make is because I wasn't quite sure how to frame it. I understand the privilege that I have because we didn't grow up with money. It was quite the opposite. So this is a world that I am not familiar with. And so I didn't want this video to come off as a brag. And I still don't know how this video is going to feel to an outsider. Like, I don't want it to come off as a brag because it's not. We are investing in our future. I don't know how long this YouTube thing is gonna last. And this is the first piece of that puzzle in our future investment. I am very aware of how fortunate we are. None of that is ever lost on me. I'm a pretty lucky dude. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. We are going to get back into building cool stuff. I'm working on this video right now, and I found this old chair on the side of the road, and I am transforming it into something completely different. This project is really cool. That video is almost done. It will be out very soon. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. They were trying to give me some guidance on how to frame and film this video. I appreciate all of you. That is gonna wrap it up. We'll see you next time with an actual real project coming up here. As always, be safe, have fun, stay passionate, and make something.